What's going on, guys? Abe Froman here. So I have decided to make a series of videos explaining some of the methods that I have used in the past for field gear and other stuff to, you know, help yourself not be so miserable and be more effective in the field. Several people in this past event we did asked me as I was out there, why do you have this, or where did you get that, or so on and so forth. So what I decided to do for now is to show how I have my equipment set up dry with no water, no meals, no platoon gear, just the bare bones basic rucksack and your sleep system, um, extra clothing, hygiene, weapons maintenance, your flick setup, and that'll be the first one. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what you see here is all the stuff that I have laid out. Not only is it laid out so I can effectively demonstrate what we got going on here, and that's another thing, with COVID going on, we don't have a lot of opportunities to get together, so this might help some people out, might not. Again, this is my personal setup. Everyone has 1,000 different ways they do things. People ask me personally how Abe Froman set things up, and I'm going to describe how Abe Froman carries and uses his equipment, and it's a personal thing. So if you don't like it, whatever. If it helps you out, great. So what you have in front of you right here is my rucksack and its contents, dry and no food or platoon gear laid out, with the sleep system, the bare ruck itself, weapons cleaning kit, hygiene, and clothing. What I'm going to do is, not all of this stuff is issued, and you can buy them pretty cheap online. You got Walmart, Amazon, and I'll do my best to find some links and put it in the description below, so if you want to look into it yourself, you can. Everybody who's taken this career seriously, you're going to realize that you're going to spend some time in the field, and the more you perfect that, the more effective you can become. If your quality of life is better, you're going to be more effective, basically. All right, so let's get into it. So over here on the right hand side is my sleep system, and for what I have laid out is for the summertime, whenever it's really hot and you don't need a lot of cold weather gear. So right off the bat, you see that I got a bivvy. So that is the utmost, most important piece of gear that you're going to have if you have nothing else. So you have your bivvy. This right here, this is a field jacket liner, and later on I will show you how you have this set up for cold weather gear, but also hot weather for a pillow. And that's what this looks like, is a little neck pillow, and you can put it over here. However, but this is a comfort item. It weighs, it has some ounces on it, but I prefer to take it with me for comfort and in case it gets cold. Fleece cap. Everybody asks about, why do you take a fleece cap during the summertime? It weighs practically nothing, and what it can do is, if it dips down to even just a little bit uncomfortable temperature, you can put this over your head. Your head at the top of the sleep system is where most of your body heat's going to escape anyway, and also you cover it over your eyes and ears, so when people are jacking around at the patrol base, you can still sleep. Alright, so what I have here is the most infamous whoopee. This has been mine for 12 years now, and I absolutely love it. But I have alternated items out here that can be used for different environments. Now, the good thing about this is it can keep you warm and it packs down to practically nothing. But this right here, make sure, I think it's a snug top. Let me check the label. Yep, snug pack, jungle bag. What this does is, I don't know if you can see in the video, but this is a mosquito liner, and it goes over the face, and it basically weighs the same as a whoopee, and it can unzip fully to where it is just like the whoopee, where it goes all the way down like this. It can unclasp and then undo again, and then you basically have a gigantic blanket, one square piece. But if it gets cold enough, you can zip it up and use it as an actual sleep system with a mosquito liner. It's worth its weight in gold. Again, put in the description, not super expensive, and helps you out in an environment where you don't want mosquitoes and other bugs biting on your face all night. So again, these two items are, you can, toss one out for the other one. So I prefer to take the Snug Pack Jungle Bag. Alright. That's basically it for the sleep system. Again, this is for extreme warm weather climates. Down here in the south, it gets hot. I don't take a whole lot. And as a matter of fact, when I get in the sleep system, I completely take all of my clothing off with the exception of my skivvies, or sometimes I drop that if I'm really hot, and I let my body air out, and as the night goes on, if I get too cold, I can take my jungle bag or whoopee or field jacket liner and cover up as need be. How I store this is everything you see as part of the sleep system goes inside the bivy cover, all the way to the foot, and that stays in there zipped up and crushed down, taking all the air out. And that's at the very bottom of my rucksack, inside a wet weather bag, which is what you see right here. Which takes me to the second set of equipment. Over here, I have literally what I carried for this past operation, and the clothing you see is for a one-day overnighter. So I have a t-shirt, set of socks, and some black Under Armour skivvies. And again, this is not an issued item. These are Under Armour woven shorts, and I swear by them. I used to not wear any underwear back in the day, and a couple of accidents went through, and I realized I got to start wearing something. And instead of having cotton underwear, which can chafe and get wet, this repels water and sweat, and it compacts down nice and neat. And also, when you're in the patrol base, if you got to get up in the middle of the night, instead of putting your whole uniform on, these are shorts, not underwear. So you can rock this in your t-shirt and your Crocs, or barefoot, or your boots, and go take a piss or do whatever you got to do. You'll notice I have this pair of socks in a Ziploc sandwich bag. Throughout these videos, you're going to notice that I have a huge emphasis on moisture and water reduction, and everything you see I have at some point in either a plastic bag or some form of waterproof bag inside the rucksack. Guys, let me tell you something. There's nothing worse than waking up and putting on wet clothing or wet socks. I had one time a Joey ask me, hey, why do you put everything in Ziploc bags and stuff? And I literally looked at him and I was like, have you ever put on wet socks first thing in the morning? He was like, no, I haven't. I was like, if you ever do, you'll never forget it. So that's that. So everything that is right here, on a daily basis, I put in 1 gallon size bag. So I have my socks, underwear, skivvies, and a t-shirt. You're going to see guys do things like Ranger Roll and stuff like that. Whatever. If it gets your rocks off, sure. I don't necessarily do that because for me, I can compact it down just as neat and nice without having to roll it up and having to run all. That's one more step that you have to unroll and roll. No. So this is a set of undergarments that I keep, get the air out just like this, inside a wet weather bag. Again, waterproofing and moisture reduction is paramount, and redundancy is key. So the individual socks, I might put that on a sustainment pouch, so that way if I have a chance to change socks throughout the day, I'll do that. But this set you have right here, one solid day set, I put inside all the way at the bottom of my wet weather bag. This right here is, again, a non-issued item. This is a Sea to Summit dry bag, and again, I will post as much things as I can in the description of things that I've bought that have paid dividends in the field. You don't have to get this stuff. Wet weather bag works just as fine, but a wet weather bag doesn't have these little high-speed clips on here, and it doesn't have this weight reduction that this can provide. I ended up buying it. Helps me out. Second step to the daily undergarment wear. Notice that I put this in a Ziploc bag. Now, whenever I change my nasty ass undergarments, where do you think I put those? A lot of guys are like, man, screw it. I'm just going to shove this thing down to the bottom, it'll be fine. But what happens is those dirty, nasty clothes start soaking up water,
and then you're gonna have wet clothes weighing you down. It smells like hell, and it just makes more sense to put it back into the Ziploc bag and then move out from there. If y'all are wondering why this is an audio clip, is because it was so hot that my camera started overheating and parts of it were cut out. But we're just gonna keep on keeping on. No big deal. We're just gonna get it done. All right. But that's it for this.
So this is the issue Tarp now. They don't issue the poncho out anymore, and the reason being is because A, it is a little flimsier than the Tarp, and B, nobody wears the stupid Tarp. You got the hood, and you have to tie it up in the center to make sure it's like water resistant. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's a good thing they're not issued out anymore, and they have the Tarp. I'll have a separate video of how to set up a hooch, and that's why you see 550 corn on here. But at a bare minimum, a poncho or a tarp is going to be needed for a safe, dry sleeping environment. Setting up a hooch in a patrol base, that's what you do everything behind, so that way you're behind concealment. And then water prevention. Again, redundancy here with moisture and water prevention. You can turtle your ruck, which is when you take your tarp and you fold it underneath the top of your ruck when it's full, whenever you're not using it. Or, again, another piece of very lightweight gear, this is a ruck condom. You have multiple different types of camouflage. This was bought off of Amazon. What this does is this extends out and it goes over the top of the ruck, and it basically packs down to nothing, weighs next to nothing, and you don't have to take out your poncho every time, or tarp every time to use it. So I take this too. Alright, and now I'm just going to pack the ruck. Again, this isn't necessarily like, how to basic level pack a ruck, but I'm just going to do it real quick, speed through it, and then I'll show you how to put the ruck condom on, and then we'll go over some other items. Internally, there's this little divider. What I like to do is once I push my sleep system all the way down, I'll put that divider on, so that way whenever I take my sleep system out at night, I can take it out of the bottom zipper, and everything at the top doesn't come out like a gypsy wagon. Okay. Whenever I got back from the last operation, when I was taking my gear out, I realized that my e-tool carrier was busted. So again, it's not just cleaning your gear or doing inventory, but you're checking the serviceability. You're going to hear that word a lot in your career. And the buckle on this and the canteen pouch can sometimes be garbage, and that's why this thing popped off. So you got to check your stuff, because if you need to turn it back in to get replaced, or realize that something's not going to work, you're not going to realize that unless you actually check it. So got to fix it. Alright, just to show you the importance of the ruck condom. Again, real light, cheap piece of gear. So say you are at the patrol base and you're not using your rucksack, you can literally put this ruck cover on and set it and forget it. You can see all this excess material. I put this thing on there with a giant ruck on with a bunch of gear in there, but this right here will work just fine. And the benefit of this versus turning it with the poncho is, take a look, straps. So with this in tow, you can still, even if it's raining, put your rucksack on and keep it on with the cover on. Again, worth its weight in gold. So some people get bent off their hinges about looking like a gypsy wagon or having a bunch of straps on. I understand the importance of it, and I absolutely try my best to, secure all cords and things like that, because anything that's hanging is A, going to get caught on something, or B, it's going to look like it's going to make noise, and you look like shit. So these little keepers, if you keep them down towards the end, when it's like not a lot of gear like this, nice and tight, you can literally just put it to the end, take it in, and then shove it up in the inside, and that way there's no straps hanging down. So some additional things that I realized that I had on here I wasn't talking about. Right here, this is just a pistol mag pouch. The reason why that's there is because I keep a multi-tool either on my flick or right here on the ruck. And the reason for that is if I don't have enough room in my flick, because I have magazines and other equipment, I'll keep this here with me, because if you're doing light operations in patrol base or whatever, you're going to be on your rucksack most of the time whenever you're in the patrol base. If you need it for weapons maintenance or anything, it's right here. This is where the e-tool pouch goes that I have going to have to swap out, and then 2-quart canteen. 2-quart canteen, sometimes you'll see them on both sides. If you're doing light operations in a jungle environment or somewhere where your water resupply is going to be low, it's paramount to have these 2-quart canteens. You take this out for the watering party, go get it filled up, and even if you can't get your 1 quarts topped off, as long as you have these on here, it's worth their weight in gold, because you never know when you're going to need water or you're not going to be able to get water. Last thing about the rucksack. Okay. People go insane about how to set up the frame. You know, you got your SF dudes and people that are like, oh, it's got to be all super high. That's fine, but here's my take on it. Again, it's 2 cents for what it's worth. I like to keep my bag high to the point that there's a little bit of frame hanging down here. If you got to take a puss pad or a sleeping mat, as it's supposed to be called, and put it down here, if you undo these tightening tension straps and just hang it right here below it, or you have other equipment, tripod, other platoon essential items, you can hang it down here as long as it's not heavy. That's the key. And strap it to the bottom, and then once it's there, it can stand up like this, and it won't fall down. But I don't really care about that because most of the time it's going to be on my back.
So yeah, again, with the overheating camera, cut off the last little bit, no big deal. I'm going to transition over to my flick or fighting low carrier or LBE, low bearing equipment, and we will go from there.
Okay, now I'm going to go over the stuff that I carry in my flick. As you see right now, everything is out on top of the table, and this has been aired out after our last operation because A, check for serviceability, and B, do a quick wipe down. I'll do a separate video on that about why I take all my stuff out, lay it out, and then exactly what steps I do to putting it back into to operation. So let's go over to what I carry on my actual flick. Okay, so everybody has their flick set up differently. Not every unit can give you the same amount of stuff depending upon where you're going to, but what you see right here is some extra things, but with the essentials. Okay, so on the outside of my flick, turn around so you all can see it as I go through. On the outside, I have 2 1-quart canteen pouches. Next to those, I have 2 IFAC pouches. Now, in a regular unit, one of these pouches is going to be an actual IFAC. I have that labeled here by the red tape. But for this situation, the programming right now, we don't have to have a packed IFAC, so this gets used for other equipment because I fill space as needed. And then on a regular operational unit, the pouch right here will be your NODS pouch or your battery pouch, other mission essential equipment that you need right here. And everything you try to see here is I try to keep everything symmetrical, so when I get down to the prone, it's not uneven. I have 3 Velcro 2 magazine pouches for 5.56, so 1, 2, 3, and then this is an emitter pouch, radio pouch, and it can also fit a chem lights or another magazine or whatever in there. But that's basically it at the bottom. Up here, got your titty pouches, your grenade pouches, and I will go through and explain what I put in here and why I put it in here. Okay, so we'll start from the outside and work our way in. So first off, I carry 2 canteen cups. In a separate video, I'm going to describe why I do that. It's worth the wait for me. It's not for everybody, but for hygiene and for comfort items, I carry 2 canteen cups with the canteens in them, and it also distributes the weight evenly. So put those in. Canteen cup. Canteen. When I get back from the field, I always try my best to empty these out. This has a little bit of water in it still, but it's got a little water bleach composition in there. So when you come back, you empty your canteens out. You put a teeny tiny couple drops of bleach in there, shake it up, let it sit in there for a little bit, and then open it up, pour it out, let it dry. It does a good job of making sure there's no mold or anything left in there from the past operation you did. So canteen and the canteen cup, and then on my right side here, I carry 100% DEET, Can't live without this. Again, I don't even have to put this in the description, but I will. Walmart, Target, anywhere. Tiny little bottle that can fit in these little, these are supposed to be for water purification pouches, but I literally use them for almost everything else. I do carry some water purification stuff on me, but I don't pack all 4 pouches with those. So 100% DEET bug spray, worth its weight in gold. And here, it doesn't necessarily fit all the way, but if you angle it and then cinch it down, it will close it good enough. Same thing on the other side, canteen cup. What I have here, AAA batteries. My handheld and my headlamp all use AAA, and any kind of usually radios I have. So if I need AA for whatever optics or whatever I have, I'll put some AA in there. But extra batteries fit nice and neat on the little outside pouch. And lastly, set of ear pro. If you're ever going to a live range, you don't have ear pro, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it's my last little thing I keep in there. And you can keep other things in there too, but this is what works for me. And canteen and the canteen pouch in the cup. Alright, working our way in. So now I have that. If you have magazines, magazines are going to be in here. If not, fill it with other shit that you might need. Common sense, but not everybody thinks about this. Alright, so what this is 100 mile an hour tape on a piece of old cardboard. So if you find anything that's nice and stiff, like lightweight, wrap 550 or wrap 100 mile an hour tape around there, and it can fit basically anywhere. And that way you're not carrying a giant ass roll with you. So I have some of that, and then hand sand. Despite COVID times, this and this hand sanitizer and map markers are your best friend for mission planning. We'll go over that in a separate video, but if you can't have one without the other, if you always use permanent ones. The non-permanent ones, they work, but guess what happens if you smudge it? It's gone. There's all your data and your points and grids, so pointless. So the map markers I have in this case fit perfectly inside this IFAC, and then also with that, a nice Right in the Rain. Alright. PT belt. Gets a bad rep. A lot of people hate this thing and think it's stupid, but I always have one on me no matter what, and it's not for safety. If you're doing land nav, if you're doing any kind of marking, and you need to go to a clover leaf or something like that, you strap this around a tree or lay this up where you can see it, and then you can work your way back to it, and you will be very happy that you had this. I always carry this on my flick. You never know when you might need one. I had to move inside because the weather decided to turn on us, and apparently it was too hot for the camera, but whatever. Nonetheless, we will conquer and prevail. Alright, so continuing with flick. Last thing we had was the PT belt, and we'll go on from there. Alright, so moving along on the little front pouches, we got baby wipes. Baby wipes are your best friend. You gotta take a shit, you gotta wipe your hands off to eat, you need to clean yourself. I keep a small sandwich bag size fold of baby wipes either on my kit or on my pocket, and then one in a hygiene bag. So these slip in nice and neat in there with the rest of your gear. So baby wipes. And alright, tools. We got fixed blade knife. Don't have to have fixed blade. Don't even really have to have a knife if you have a multi-tool, but I still live by the 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I have my multi-tool that's on my Ruck or in my flick, and then another cutting device or knife. It doesn't have to be a fixed blade, it can be a folder. But again, in a situation like the operation I was just on, if you're only using 2 magazines, you can use those other pouches for other items. So I slip this thing in, one of these pouches, close it down, it's good to go. Lights. Let's go over lights. So in a tactical environment, you definitely need a red light, just like so. This is a headlamp. A headlamp is a must, and you have to have backup batteries. This one takes AAAs, and I have what you saw earlier, the 2-pack AAAs wrapped in a sandwich bag, and then the headlamp uses AA's, and then my non-headlamp, just a regular you know, I don't even know what brand this is. Fiat, whatever. A handheld. Surefire is great. This one didn't even come with a red lens capability. This one has a piece of Tupperware that I cut off and put on top. It's pretty bright. Can't tell that right now because we're in a room, but this also uses AAA batteries, and then I slip this in my radio pouch, and then with the carabiner I have it tied down. That's another thing I haven't talked about yet. Almost all my gear I try to tie it down. You go to somewhere like Ranger School Selection, they're going to have you tie that shit down anyway. Things that you don't want to lose, you probably should tie down, but specifically things that you will take out that aren't tied off to you, you are going to lose it. So if you lend it to a friend or take it off to, you know, look at something, you're going to probably misplace that thing unless it's tied down. So this one has a carabiner on the strap, and then this guy right here, because it goes on my head, I do not tie this one down, but it fits in one of the IFAC pouches. Doesn't matter which one, just slip it in. Still on the front side here. Alright, this I can carry either in my side pocket, in my shoulder, or on the clip. Chewing gum. Extra specifically sweet watermelon. If you aren't eating, if you don't have like a sustainment for more than 3 meals a day, chewing on a couple of these is like a temporary meal. So always bring chewing gum to the field. You never know when you're going to want it. Plus it gives you something to do. And then Blistex. Man, if I had $1 million for every time my lip started getting all crusty and gross in the field, wish I had some Blistex. I keep that on my kit at all times. This one's situational. All right. So the last operation I was on, we didn't actually use these, but it's always good to have a set of cheap binos. These are not military grade. These are just regular Bushnell, probably like $10, whatever, off Amazon. They don't have reticles, no mils in there, but just some kind of device that you can see farther than your eyesight can be the difference between a successful mission and not knowing where the enemy is. So if you got space for it, bring it. If not, no big deal. Little small ones like this can get shoved into a little pouch that's not being utilized for something else, like so. I think that's it for the front set. Nope. Alright, medical shears. These are not expensive ones. I think Leatherman or maybe even Gerber makes some really, you know, high-speed ones. I don't need that. Get with your medics. Get with anybody who's in the medical community. If you get any kind of medical gear, try to get a set of these. These will make you happy. 550 cord straps. I mean, anything. These will cut through it. These cut through a damn penny. They will cut through anything. I have mine down. Here it is. Tied off with a retractable lanyard. That's actually North American Rescue lanyard. These comes with a lot of medical kits you can get in your career. They come off with a little snap, but when I want them, they go right behind my IFAC and they tuck away nice and neat. I highly suggest that. Last thing in the front pouches, another little notebook. Write in Rain is great. You don't have to have Write in the Rain, but if you don't have Write in the Rain, you definitely want to waterproof it. This right here is one I've had for quite some time. It's not many pages left, but again, weight reduction. It's nice to have, use things to their full capacity, being thrifty. And this one, you probably can't tell. I don't know if you can read that. It has PCC, PCI checklist for individual and for a squad or team leader. If it's taped there, you got it. Just real quick check before you step off for a mission, doing your PCCs, PCIs. You might forget something. So I got that taped off to my little extra notebook here. And you never know when a buddy might need one. Make a friend. Share the wealth. Alright. Let's move up to the grenade pouches. On the left side, this is my compass and whistle pouch. Yes, I carry a rape whistle. I am not scared to admit that. Lens edit compass, military type. The key for these ones, you'll find some cheapos. You'll get one issued to you, but if you don't, you'll find some cheapos online that don't have trinium in the bezel. So you want trinium, so that way at nighttime, many uses, but you put your flashlight on there, lights it up, and then when you are navigating, you can see it even in the dark. So want the one with trinium. lens edit compass, lanyard, this little looper at the top. You put one side in, loop it back around, and then it creates a little bite. Pull the excess through, wrap up the tail, and then now when you're on the objective and you're screaming and moving and freaking out, even if you drop this, you're not going to lose it, and you do not want to lose a compass. They're not cheap, and you don't want to have something on your record that you owe back to Uncle Sam. Rape whistle. Can't beat this for basic on the objective communications. 1 blast lift fire, 2 blast shift fire. Make it up. Make up SOP. That's up to you. But I carry one always. Always have. It's been a SOP that I've developed over the years that people have made me do, and I realized that it works. So always keep a whistle on me, not just for tactical environment, but if you're ever lost or in an emergency situation, you can scream a lot less than you can blow a whistle. So those 2 items in there, snap it closed, good to go. Right hand kitty pouch. Gloves. Don't matter. Mechanics are great, flyers are great. Those high-speed knuckle ones that they used to issue all the time, well, who cares? A set of gloves is important. These are the current basic issue ones. You guys are lucky that are coming in now. They have Velcro, and they are not long and creepy like the Predator gloves that they used to give, like How to Catch a Predator. They used to come all the way up here, and you roll them down, dirt getting them, whatever. These are old and gross, but you know what? They work. If you're changing out a barrel on a crew serve, or you're going through some thick brush, you're going to want good gloves. Again, nothing against Nomex pliers. I enjoy those too. You can have a better sensitivity in your fingers, but these will definitely do the trick when you need something to not destroy your hands. And then also, right next to my gloves, which it's not easy to shove this thing in here, but again, I'd rather have them and not need them kind of mentality. But next to this grenade pouch is pace cords, ranger beads. Need them always. It's going to be really hard to remember your pace if you are making anything past I would say 300 meter movement. Keep them on you and keep them on your flick. Tie it off like this, you'll never lose them. You'll see some other items on here. Some carabiners. You can't go wrong with carabiners, non-bodyweight carabiners for your kit, for tie downs. I have some here for tying down items that would go in this pouch. Make a separate video for land nav aids on how to make that happen with the protractors. But also in here I have laminated sheets of index cards, big ones, that have lines on them for notes, for map markers if you need to. Again, guys, you're going to notice I use a lot of map markers for a very good reason. Here's a little secret trick that helps out tremendously. If you don't know what this is called glint tape. And if you have several pages of these in here, these have so many uses I couldn't go over from in just this video. But when you write on here and it's dark and you're trying to share notes or give a quick little grid or brief on here, you're not going to be able to see it very well, even under NOTs, under night devices, night vision devices. So if you don't have those equipment, you can still use this and use it for marking things in the patrol base. Again, I'm not going to get into it, but it's good to have glint tape pages in here. And that's about it for the boring but most important Ranger handbook. Again, watertight. Love my little sandwich bags. This one's a quart bag. Quart-sized bags, sandwich bags, gallons bags. Buy a box of them. Keep buying boxes of them every time you go to the field. Goes right in here. Good to go. Alright, what else I got here? Oh yeah. Also, in the front, you can kind of ship things around. It's a nice thing about not having to carry lots of ammunition or magazines. You can shove all sorts of cool guy stuff in other pouches. This one's still got room for my headlamp. iPro. God, I hate iPro. Everybody does, especially when it's hot and humid. But safety first, right? Gotta have it. Here's a trick that I learned from a buddy of mine back in the day that has helped me tremendously. Alright, so I have, these are Oakley M-frames. They were issued to me, but you can buy them. Probably the best ones to have because they're a wide field of view, and if you do it right, you can get them pretty cheap. Dark lenses on or clear lenses, but they both go in the case This is Oakley's versions of Ops Drops. Ops Drops are the best, but this works too. And then a cleaning rag, preferably one of the softy ones, like the lens cleaning ones. I think I lost one, but this little strip of cloth will work fine too. All this stuff together. The nice thing about the strip right here, you can separate the lenses so they don't get scratched up. They're gonna get scratched up anyway, but all in one case, in the pouch, good to go. Last thing for the flick. Not really part of the flick, but it's important to have. This is some stupid piece of it's a scarf, man. Like it's just all it is a scarf. But believe it or not, whether it's this or a shamak or whatever the hell it's called, you fold it in half, you put it over your neck, it absorbs sweat, you wipe your face off, you get this thing all nasty, and at the end of the day, you rinse it off, dry it out, and produce a little bit of soap, and it's good to go. I always have one of these. My face, I sweat like a pig. I always have one. It helps for chafing on my neck. But if I'm sitting somewhere for a long period of time, either in the sun or in concealment, I will cover the sides of my face up to my hat, and I will sit there, and it will keep the sun directly off my skin. It'll help with bugs and also help with concealment. So I always usually have some kind of rag or something like this that I keep on my person. And that sums it up for the flick. The way you see it set up right now, with the front zipped up and the ends clipped like this. I'm not going to get into a video or on the video, but this is my preferred way to set it up. So it goes over your neck, and then you clip it in the back. Some people have it to where it's sitting in the front. Both work. My thing is speed, agility, and effectiveness. So the zip in the front with the clip, I don't want to fuck with that. I prefer the thing in the back. Just real quick, clip over the head, it's done. If there needs to be another video about how to set that up, I can do that, but for now, that's why I carry my kit like this. And that's it for the flick. For hygiene, this might sound redundant, and people are like, I know what to take for a hygiene kit. It's obvious. Well, to some people, yes, but for somebody who hasn't been doing this for a while, this might help them out, so that's why I'm doing this. Everything you see right here, minus a couple items, goes in one of these little, very tiny mesh hygiene bags. This right here is McNet Tactical. I think I picked this up from a clothing sale or something for super cheap. It came with one of these super high-speed microfiber dry towels, but not this one. This one is a Sea Summit, just like my dry bag, but the one that came in here was like a full-size towel, like you could wrap it around your waist. This one's more like a hand towel, and for a field environment, this is what I use because it fits nicely in here. This is only about, I would say maybe like, maybe 2 feet by 3 feet, maybe 4 feet, or not 4 feet, but whatever that is, nice and small, not huge. But that's enough about the towel. The cool part about the dry towel is you get it wet, you hang it up for a little bit, and it dries out super quick, and that's key for when you don't have a lot of time for hygiene. A mirror. This right here is a double-sided mirror, one of those vanity mirrors, pocket mirror that goes from super zoomed in to not zoomed in. And this is the most important piece of your hygiene kit. Not your tooth shit, not your whatever butt cream, but this right here for shaving, for putting on face paint, for marking, for signaling, this is key. This is like a survival item, and that's why I get a nice high quality one. I used to have a little lanyard on there, but I've had this so long that it's broken, but I still use it. That either goes inside your hygiene kit or on your flick. I have my little camo one on the camo thing that's on there, so I have that for that, but this one, again, 2 is 1, 1 is none, all that nonsense, but must have. Alright, let's go down the line. Barbasol. You don't have to use an aerosol can, but this is a nice small travel size one. If you look across the way, with the exception of this deodorant, Old Spice deodorant, I normally have travel sized everything. You want it nice and small. Ounces become pounds. You're going to hear that a lot in your career, and you want travel size. I use this sometimes, but what I prefer is the cream. And I ran out, so I had to buy some more from Amazon, but this works in a pinch. My razor, it fell apart, and because it was a cheap disposable one, that's usually what I bring with me. So I tossed it, and I'll just make another one. But on with the razor, I'll show you real quick the toothbrush. So toothbrush, they make little travel size ones, but if you just cut the stupid handle off and make sure you can reach your molars, this is all you need. That big handle is cumbersome and sometimes won't go in nice little places like that. You get your disposable razor and your toothbrush, hack that little thing off the end, and then you can stick this anywhere. And since I'm already on teeth, dental picks, man. These little minty gum, GUM brand dental picks come with a pick on one side and a floss on the other. These are amazing, and I always bring a couple of them, usually one per day, and they weigh practically nothing. They go with my little toothbrush, and I use them after chowing down MREs and other nasty stuff for a while. It helps clean your teeth. Small size toothpaste, whatever you want, but again, small size is key. And even with one of these, if you have like one that's been used a little bit, that's what you want. Even for something like as far as a 5 day to a 2 week feel out. Let's go back with your teeth. This, all right. So I know y'all have had nasty hangnails, blisters, stuff going on. This is a little like sneaky, stabber thing. This was a gift from somebody. It's a Boker, German, type blade. It's got a glass breaker on one side, razor sharp, and like just little, like lethal looking blade. Don't know how much it is, but I would definitely buy it if it wasn't given to me. I'll try to find one and put a link in the description, but this is great for any small little things, but it's got a big enough blade that you can use for opening things, prying things, and then also, as a defense, like that would fuck somebody up. So again, keep that in my little hygiene kit. Small, compact. Gold Bond, foot powder is debatable. I keep this for body stuff and foot stuff. If I'm soaking wet and I dry off, I might throw some of this on, I might not, but again, travel size, it's user dependent. Okay, medication, OTC, over the counter. Inside here is a little eclectic mix of some Advil and some Tylenol. So ibuprofen and Tylenol, and even naproxen's good. A little tiny kit like this is all you need. This last operation we did, I had several people that were, feeling down in the dumps, gotten, kind of messed up, and were like, "Hey man, we could really use some Tylenol." I'm like, "I got you, dude." So, enough for yourself and possibly a few others. Very small, only two. NyQuil, Dayquil. This is like off-brand, Equate, whatever bullshit Walmart has. You never know. You really never know. And taking them with you, you're going to wish you had them if you didn't have them. All right. Benadryl cream. If you get bit by an ant, a spider, you're going to get bit. It's flat out known that you're sleeping in the woods, you're going to be out there, you're going to get bit, cut, whatever. A small little tube like this of Benadryl cream that stops the itching is going to stop itching and infection, and you need this. Extra little Benadryl, small cream. Again, if you have one that's not used that much like this one, it's less space and great. This is, man, I discovered this when I was in a tropical environment doing operational stuff. Lanacane anti-friction gel. If you get monkey butt or chafing, you are going to be screaming if you don't have something like this. I'll tell you right now, you put this on a chafe mark, it's going to dry it out, but it ain't going to do shit for continued chafing. If your butt crack gets all chafy down in your crotchal area, this is what you want, Lanacane. I have a hard time finding it, but again, I'll try to find a link, post it in the description for that. You want that. All right, whenever teeth. Deodorant, man, bro, you don't want to stink. You're gonna be gross, but deodorant's key. A little small comfort item. You want to make your best, put your best foot forward. This is not a travel size. I couldn't get one in time, but this one, there's like barely anything left on it. Takes a little more space, but I prefer travel size. This little pack right here. All right. I am not a huge advocate of moleskin, but I know other people are, so I have a couple strips in here. So mostly so I can help out my battle buddies, but if you need it, it works in a pinch. My preferred thing for blisters on the back of your feet, toes, Band-Aids. Band-Aids are single use, and you can take them off, let it air dry, and then you put it on there and it stops rubbing. I prefer Band-Aids for blisters. The knee size one, or the knee Band-Aids, I used one, so I don't have it in here, is great for the back of your heel, and then a couple extra for your little ouchie buoys. I had a friend that needed a cut treated, so I had some hand sand. I had a little pack of Neosporin I usually keep in this thing, and a little hand wipe, little sanitation wipe.
I'll have to restock this, but in this little bag you put Neosporin, Band-Aids, a little bit of foot stuff, and then a little alcohol prep pad, and you'll be good for any little ouchie booties you have, because those things can still get infected. That's it for the kit, minus this. I'm going to do this separate. Alright, shaving is paramount in the field, but boy howdy does it suck sometimes to get up and shave. Now if you grow a man beard like me, this might not cut it. This is a cheap little Braun electric razor. If you're running late or you're getting pushed out and you don't have time, say you get compromised or whatever, and you still expect to be clean shaven, this can do the trick for about half a day, and that's about it. And then you need to shave the next day, but it's nice to have. Weighs a little bit, don't always take it, but it's nice to have. This one takes AA batteries. I got some more AA batteries in here in case some other electronic device I have uses it, but I'll wrap this up and either put this in my Ruck or with my Hygiene Kit. And that's it for the Hygiene Kit. On this bag, I put the towel back here with the mirror. Everything else goes up front. Ziploc bag, you've heard that. Good to go. One last little thing that I forgot to mention in the Hygiene Kit was body soap. So body wipes will get you there, but when it comes down to it, if you want to wash your nasty hair or actually have a chance to, like, you know, shower, heaven forbid, or actually get wet and actually, like, you know, use soap, another little tiny travel size thing of soap in here will be good with the towel. I don't have that in here right now because I use baby wipes. This last one was only a 5-day op. But if you're out there for longer than 5 days, man, you're gonna want some soapies. So Camp Suds is good. If you're in an actual, like, real unit doing, you know, training for combat, you're gonna want something that's non-scented, but you know, all your Axe, body, all that bullshit. Something small will be fine. But Camp Suds works good. But again, beat that horse to death. All right, weapons cleaning kit. Man, I was surprised when we were doing this last thing how many people A, had never fired a weapon before, but B, had never even cleaned or even held a weapon before. So I'm gonna, before I get into this extra fancy high-speed bullshit, I'm gonna just show the bare bones what you can get for, you know, on the cheap, or your unit can supply to you. This right here is a basic cleaning kit, and what it consists of is 3 pieces of rod, or 2 pieces of rod, and then a T-handle, a brass bore snake, or I'm sorry, a brass barrel brush, a chamber brush. Sometimes there'll be a little eyelet in there, like this, an eyelet, and then a tooth slot style brush for, you know, cleaning, and then some CLP. If you have what you see right here is what you'll normally get for a bare bones kit, and then a rag, this is literally all you need. You don't need any of this extra high speed fancy shit, but this is stuff that I've collected over the years doing, you know, combat arm stuff. It comes in handy. But we'll do a separate class on weapons cleaning, but this right here is what you absolutely need. You're gonna need cleaning rods for more than just punching the barrel. Your cleaning rod, believe it or not, the edge of this, the the female end, this will be able to scrape all that carbon off your bolt, out of the bolt carrier group, and you know, if you just have this, a little bit of CLP, maybe a brush and a rag, you're already more than halfway there. That's all you really need. The rest of this stuff is for the nitty gritty, you know, really getting a good cleaning in, but I just wanted to show that. This old school stuff, what you see right here is case accessories. This is what I've had forever. Back in the day, you all don't know about this, M16s, the old musket, they had a space in the back. There was no collapsible buttstock, and in the back you could put the cleaning kit, which is great when you think about it. You know, that way you always have it with you, but, you know, Uncle Sam thought better with the M4, so we don't have that anymore, but it still works. All right, on to my a little more advanced level cleaning kit. This is everything you see. Let me take these out of the way. I don't use the T-handle. Everything you see here is what I will carry with me to the field. And I have more stuff, but this is like, you know, my small compact. Put it in a bag, put it in a Ziploc bag, and you're good to go. But we'll go through it one by one. All right, so first thing, I'm sure it's glaring to everybody, like, why the hell does that guy have gloves? You're gonna want gloves, man. A couple extra sets of surgical gloves is the difference between you scrubbing your fingers and fingernails for
5 minutes versus 45 minutes to get that nasty shit out of your hands, and I prefer to use gloves if I'm cleaning a disgusting crew serve or even my own individual weapon. So gloves, I take gloves. Q-tips, man, cheap, get them anywhere. You need them. You need Q-tips. Getting in the star chamber, clearing out the bolt carrier group of the bolt, you're going to want Q-tips. It doesn't matter the kind, but you want them. Also in this little bag, I have, let's see if I can get them out. There we go. There's this, and then this right here, this is known as a star chamber brush. And what you can do with one of these is you can put this on the end of your cleaning rod, use your little screw, oh, there it goes, I'll get it later. You put it on the end of your cleaning rod. And again, I'm going to do a whole separate video on just weapons maintenance in and out of the field for everybody that has never done it before. This will go in the star chamber, and you work that in enough, and you will get plenty of gunk out of there. So you can buy a pack of these for $5 for like 50 from Amazon. Again, link in the description. But I keep all this in a little Ziploc bag. Cleaning patches. I keep a set of these. I have a boar snake, but I also keep a set of these because you never know if somebody's going to need them, or you don't have a rag. We'll go over rags in a second, but it's good to have just a couple in your little kit. Alright. Pipe cleaners. A lot of times you'll get these issued whenever you're getting cleaning kit and stuff, but if you don't, go out and buy some. These and Q-tips are going to be making you very happy to get carbon, rust, debris in those fine little tight-knit places that you have a hard time reaching. So, pipe cleaners. Boar snake. Man, this is like, if you're not going to buy any of this other bullshit, that cleaning kit that I just showed you plus a boar snake, it's going to get you there. A boar snake, it does the job of a cleaning rod and then some. So you run it dry through the barrel a couple times, and if it's still kind of gunky, you put just a couple drops of CLP through there, and it will do what it's supposed to do. And this one is chambered for 5.56.223, and I always keep this on my weapons cleaning kit. When I'm not using it, I will wrap it up so it's nice and tight, stays out of the way, it doesn't get all unfurled. Again, in a video that I actually show how to clean a rifle, this little brass piece goes through the chamber side and you pull it out towards the barrel. We'll go over why I specifically do that in a later video, but boar brush. Tiny little bottle of CLP. You don't need a ton of CLP. You do not need a ton of CLP. Like I said, you don't need a ton of CLP. This is just like the Hygiene Kit half-used bottle. Saves up space, saves up place. A couple drops here and there. You don't want to get that thing soaking wet with CLP. This is an Otis brand, came with a cleaning kit, but it works great. All this stuff works great. Rem oil, hops, all that stuff's great. Classic CLP is fine too, but I'm not going to get into the effectiveness of CLP. You just need some. We'll go over this last. Alright, these little tools that I have right here, right? So this came from a little, an armorer I knew once had a little kit that was like, hey man, you want this? I was like, hell yeah, I want that. So I got some stuff. This did not come from him. This is called a Cat M4 tool. Let's see if you guys can't see that. It cleans basically every part of a bolt carrying group. And if you've ever cleaned one before, you're going to know that that thing is a pain in the ass to clean, and it's nice to have anything that help quickly clean it off. This part right here, later in a video I'll show you, it goes on the bolt itself, scrapes off carbon. This goes in the back of the bolt carrier group, and then you put your firing pin in this little star device, and it helps get carbon off. But link in the description for Cat M4 tool from Amazon. Other little tools you see. We'll go over these second. Dental pick, man. Oh, if you can get one of these, get one. It doesn't have to be a dental pick. It can be like a little, like a pick that comes from, Harbor Freight or anywhere like that. But this will get off all your carbon. Just a small little dental pick. It's worth it. So these other extra things, you don't need them. I've had things go astray and I've used them. This is just a little grabber tool. So if a little piece goes off into somewhere you have a hard time reaching, you can put that down there. This little claw comes out, grab it. I just keep it with me in case I need it. And then this guy right here,
I am not 100% sure what it's for. It came from the armor, and don't know what this does. It locks down, but this is a magnet. And if you lose anything that's magnetized, you can get it out of tight to reach spots. So keep that with me. Eyelet does the same thing as a bore brush, but just have it just in case I need it. Goes to the end of a cleaning rod, punch the barrel, good to go. This came from the Otis kit. It's a little scraper tool you can put on the end of a cleaning rod, and then also just like the dental pick, it's got a more broad surface. You scrape, 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 scrape. It's good to go. Kind of like I'd cut off the toothbrush for effectiveness for storing and things like that. This little toothbrush head will go on a standard size. What do they call it? Cleaning rod, and then you can get in those hard to reach spots so you don't have to have a giant one, but that comes with the Otis kit, so that works. I think I beat that to death for the little individual pieces. Let me go over this Leatherman kit. Alright, so this right here is the carrying case for a Leatherman Wave, and I'm going to break this down real quick for you and show you why I love this thing so much, and it goes with me everywhere I go. Okay, so the case first off is awesome because it has attachments for other things. So the Leatherman Wave itself, tried and true. Special ops guys swear by this. You got your Gerber saw. No offense to those, but that's just nope. I'll take Leatherman any day over those. I use those other ones, but I keep them usually on my kit or on my Ruck because I'm not going to be heartbroken if I lose a Gerber. But this one specifically I've had for a very long time, and I am attached to it. You'll see glint tape on it. If it gets lost, it doesn't matter that it's silver, but if it's dropped at night, you're not going to be able to find this shit unless you have some glint tape, so that's why that's on there. I'm not going to, this is not a Leatherman review, this is what I carry in my weapons maintenance kit, but I will highlight one thing specifically. It's got all the great tools, you can look that up anywhere, but specifically this right here, this little bit driver is why this is the #1 tool for me. Okay, so you can buy accessories for this this multi-tool, and what you see right here are bit drivers, man, and they're flat, and they fit in this little carrying case, and you tuck that in there, and you barely even know you have it. And I mean, you got Phillips heads, flap heads, Allen keys, some hex keys, and this one that's on there right now, I think it is an 1/8. Yep, it's an 1/8 inch. This one happens to be what most Allen keys on a M4 or weapon system use to tie down or to tighten down optics, make adjustments, and that's why this one's on there specifically. Now, again, these are not sold with the Leatherman, but you can buy them separately, and I would highly advise so. This is a freaking extension, man. Like, you got an extension on a multi-tool. It's a bit extension. And then this right here, if you have any other of the normal size drill bits, this, I don't know the size, one of you nerds out there can tell me, but this fits the Leatherman bit drivers, or bit keys, and then also regular, like if you have, like, again, in a drill or something, it'll work, or if a bolt that's this size, it's countless uses. But I keep the 1/8 on there for weapon stuff, and then I keep these guys with me because, again, you never know, but it's so small, and it's perfect for a cleaning kit. So that's why I have this like this. Love this, man. I take this with me to the range, for work, for fun, the field, you name it. I take this kit with me, and I love it. Little Bic, man, flick a Bic. You need one of these. It practically weighs nothing, and there's, burning 550 cords, starting a fire, cooking breakfast, making a coffee, all you smokers and jokers out there, you are going to need a fire starting device, and several of these can fit into little small places, but right here, this works out nice to hide a little mini Bic. And then last, but definitely not least, a front sight post adjusting tool. Man, what the hell is that, dude? Where'd you get that thing? No, so this is... You can use a nail or a round, but man, when it comes down to it, this right here is going to save your fingers. It's going to save the stupid rounds, because when you use the round, you jack up the round, and that messes up the ballistics. I'm not going to get into weapon stuff right here, but if you have one of these, try to keep it with you. I am always making adjustments for myself and others for the front sight post on this thing, and it's perfect. So, clean it off, make sure there's no rust.
that's basically it for the Leatherman kit. I keep this in my weapons cleaning kit always. One thing I skipped over, why these are also important besides, like, this is a chamber brush, and it obviously can clean your chamber, getting carbon and things off there. But any type of rust you have on the outside of your weapon system, on the sight, front sight post, this little guy will, a brass, key thing there is brass. You'll be able to get the rust off and then put CLP on there, and then you won't be taking away the bluing. Again, separate video for weapons cleaning. This last operation we did, man, there were people out there that were grinding down on shit with, like, taking away the bluing, just scraping. I want to see it silver. I will never forget that. Somebody's like, I want to see it silver. You're destroying that weapon. I'm not going to go on a rant here, but you're taking the bluing off that weapon, and you are making that thing prone to rust. Ran over, but that can be used for that. I got cut off with a boar brush, or boar hair brush. This is great for just cleaning off. Outside your weapon, whether it's a crew serve or your individual weapon, just clean off the dust. Quick wipe, cosmetic. Make sure all the dust is off there. This is good for that, and I do not use this for shaving. And last, rags, man, rags. So you need rags. An old T-shirt works great. Old military shirt's even better. Cut it into squares. Give it to your buddy. You can just have one rolled up in the rest of the bottom of your cleaning kit. You're gonna need rags. With the other small kit that I was talking about, this is one of the things that you're going to need no matter what. So if you have a cleaning rod, CLP, a little brush, and then this, you're good. But you have to have rags, because if you use baby wipes, it will clean off carbon, but it also can cause it to rust, because it is not the moisture in there is not good to be left on a weapon system. So use rags. Use an old T-shirt, cut into squares, use a cleaning rod, get it out of there, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll make more of them like this. I'm going to send them out to some people. If you like it, great. If not, whatever. But in the long and the short of it, that's it for this one. Thanks, guys. Bye.